Everybody, you've got to define what is your problem.
What is your problem?
Get your questions answered by Deb and Jen.
Deb and Jen are at it again.
All right, so it is the top of the hour. Welcome to the Deb and Jen Show, everyone. Glad to have you here, whether you're watching live or on the replay. I'm Coach Deb.
And I'm Coach Jen.
And together we cover 4 main areas for online marketing and even offline marketing. And that would be sales, marketing, messaging, and speaking. All critical components for growing your business. And we focus a lot on speaking and messaging because first you got to get people's attention. Hey, over here! With your messaging. And when you speak, whether you're speaking to one or an audience of 1,000 or more, you want to speak in a way that compels people to lean in and want to learn more and ultimately to take action.
That was amazing.
So we take questions in those 4 channels, things related to those 4 channels to help you grow your business because as our slogan says, if you're not making money, you don't have a business, you have a
hobby.
Hobby. Okay. So yes, way to go. All right. Just mute someone who was unmuted there for a bit so that we have a clean channel. Okay. So today, let's talk about messaging a little bit. It seems to be front and center for a lot of people. People go to networking events, they introduce themselves, and it's just kind of a bunch of words. And I was just at a networking event actually, and listened to, there's opportunities to get into circle and people share what they do. I couldn't have repeated back a single one of them.
What did I just say?
In other words, that's the test. You know, if someone can repeat back what you just said, like, I'm so-and-so, here's what I do, here's how I help you, blah, blah, blah. If you can repeat it back, it was excellent. Most people cannot.
I still don't know what I do.
In fact, some of them are so garbled, jumbled, that I'm not even sure I know what they do.
What the hell do you do?
Can I give you I'm going to take a run at it. I don't even know what your experience was, but I'm going to take a guess. If I could I'm going to give it a shot. So yeah. I'm going to flash back to Jennifer Rada, circa, let's see, 2007.
Okay.
To a networking meeting. Someone says, what do you do? Let me channel that. I'm going to channel that 2007. Oh, yeah. And so someone says, what do you do?
Jen, what do you do?
And I, Dr. Jennifer Rada, would say something like, well, I'm a chiropractor. And so I help people to identify and eliminate like misalignments in their spine and subluxation. And we help to make them healthy so that we can heal their body and give them some vitamins. And then we also we do treat patients with back pain and that would have been my answer. And then I would have stopped at this really awkward spot after we treat back pain and headaches and our staff's really great.
We're open 5 days a week.
And we're really close to the lake. It's a beautiful location. You can see the lake from where we are. And my team's great. My staff's been with me for so long. They're amazing. We have a lot of long-term clients.
Sounds great. I just think it's great.
And then I just stopped at some point and stared at them like this.
Yeah. That's what most people do. That's what most people do. Did y'all get that? Yeah, no, we didn't. Nice. You sound nice though. You seem like a nice person. Do you want to have lunch sometime? All right. So how do we solve this problem? This is a dilemma, right? You can't not put your attention on this, everyone. This is one of the most critical things for growing your business. You might say, well, I don't go to networking events. Okay. Do you talk to anyone about your business?
I like to talk about feelings.
Because how you begin that conversation is everything. So I'm going to give you a simple 3-step formula to map this out. Okay. So number 1, you got to know the problems that you solve. So number 1, what are the problems that you solve? Now, Jen, in your case of chiropractic, we solve all kinds of body aches and pains, body being out of alignment. Okay. So that's the problem, right? Everybody, you've got to define what is your problem.
What is your problem?
In this case of messaging, I can't speak clearly and compellingly enough to have people lean in and want to learn more. That's a problem. Okay. What's the solution? The next step, number 2, what is the solution that you provide to help people overcome this challenge or problem?
Hey, I'm challenged.
Now you might say, well, I don't have problems, I have challenges. Okay, fine. Make number one challenges, problems, issues, concerns, fears, whatever. Okay, that's the number one category. Number two, what solution do you bring?
Mhm.
So we have cutting edge chiropractic, including advanced chiropractic techniques. Okay, great. That's your solution. What's your solution, everyone? Write it down. What do you bring to the table? It's not about you, by the way. It's the solution. What do you bring to the table? Okay. This sounds easy. I guarantee you're going to stumble a little bit trying to figure this out. Most people I've talked to, we're on number two, but let me just add to number one. When I go to networking events and say, well, what problems do you solve? I get a blank stare.
I don't know what you're talking about, though.
I sell insurance. That's not a problem.
Yeah, I'm a realtor. They don't have problems, really. You don't think they have problems trying to find the perfect house at the right price in the right neighborhood with the right schools for their kids?
Not in
Okay.
today's market. Just
I don't have a place to live.
kidding. 100%. Right.
Yeah.
So, you're
Here's
making
the thing.
a point. Yes, go on.
Do you have to do this? No. Should you? Yes. Because it's a crowded marketplace out there, people, and buyers are getting pickier and pickier. And coming into or moving through, whatever you want to call it, an uncertain economy, we have to be more clear, more robust in order to stand out from everyone else, in order to be the logical choice where people go, yep, you're the one. Okay. We do this through our messaging, not through our personalities. You know, I've seen people market through their personalities. Hey, I'm Bob, you know, so nice to meet everyone. Oh my God, y'all look so great. So nice to be here. No. They'll like you, Bob. They'll want to go have a cocktail at the bar later.
He looks like he's having a lot of fun.
But they're probably not going to do business with you because they don't know why they're doing business with you. Okay. The problem you solve, you got to know. Okay. Just brainstorm a list, everyone. Get it down to 3. Okay. Better yet, if you can find some umbrella term to get it down to 1 or 2. All right. The solution that you bring, that's not difficult. And don't just say coaching. Don't just say consulting. That is not enough.
That's all I have to say about that.
Okay. How are you different? What is your secret sauce or your secret approach? How do you do it differently from everyone else? You know, you want to be able to include that if you can in your solution. Okay. And here's the winner chicken dinner number 3. Number 3. What is the outcome you create for people? When they're done working with you, what transformation has occurred? What ahas, breakthroughs are they having?
Where have you been all my life?
Okay, they want to know that because guess what? People don't spend money for the toolkit. They spend money for what the toolkit can create for them. You love your toolkits. Oh, I put this great toolkit together. I want everyone to know about it. They don't care yet. They first want to know what's their future going to look like if they work with you. How will they be changed? How will they transform? What's in it for them?
I'm a new man.
And then if you can explain that, then they might ask you, well, how do you go about that? Oh, so glad you asked. Then you can start drilling down to some of the details, but don't go there in the beginning. I have a 6-week program. Hi, I'm Beverly. I help women get through midlife crises. I got a 12-week program. We meet once a week. It's all private and confidential, so you don't have to worry about anything. But yeah, it's a great place to come together, share your problems and concerns, and I coach you through it.
And it's going to be $5,000. What?
Right. That sounds like a toolkit. Instead of, I'm Beverly. I help women in midlife recover from a traumatic, life-stopping experience so that they can move forward to their ideal, the second half of their ideal life, or an ideal second half of their life. I have a signature program where we go through the following 5 things. You can name what they are in brief. And then okay, now problems, challenges, issues, number 1. Number 2, the solutions that you bring, make them unique, cutting edge, differentiate yourself from everyone else out there that's doing similar work. And number 3, what are the outcomes that you create? What's the future you create for people? That's what they're buying. When you see a car commercial on TV, when was the last time you saw a car commercial, Jen, where they opened the hood and said, let me show you all our wires, and what a great looking engine we have.
Check under the hood.
Wow, I love that. Right. It's so easy to access the space where you fill up your washer fluid. Absolutely. Right.
That is a
That's my car.
clincher right there.
That's
That is that. Sign me up.
I'm
You
gonna
know?
log off and go buy a car right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. So like if you're
Oh, wait, let me finish that for a sec. So
okay.
what the show is the guy driving in the convertible, the girl's hair is blowing wildly, and they show you what your future can look like if you buy that car.
Mm-hmm.
Showing you the toolkit. They're not showing you the spare tire in the back. They're not showing you all, but that's what a lot of business people do. They start with the toolkit, or they make the toolkit prominent, and people don't care yet about the toolkit.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
They're
I
not
think
giving you an image of the finance manager's desk, right? Like here's the desk you're going to sit at when you finance this car at 11.5%. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So we get it, right? The outcome that you create for people. Now, a couple of key things when you're going through your steps 1, 2, 3. You want to make both 1 and 3 as crystal clear as you can, like really sharpen it. I help people with pain. No, it's not really sharp enough yet. Okay. I help people with chronic life paralyzing pain that keeps them from pursuing their careers, their relationships, their hobbies, whatever it is you want to say. Okay, be clear and robust. How's it affecting them? You know, what are the adjectives to describe that problem? Okay, sharpen that end of the goalpost, and then the other end, the future, because people are here, they want to be here. Make this very sharp and clear. And the reason we do that is because often people have given up hope that that kind of an outcome is even possible for them. So you want to bring it into crystal clarity, help them see it, help them identify with it, and even say, yes, I want that. Okay. Have them buy into that. Now, who here would love to be able to have a car that never breaks down, that's practically maintenance free, gets 40 miles to the gallon, so you never have to worry about where's your next gas station, and you can just enjoy travel without the worry, the headache of breakdowns and whatever. You get the idea, right? Yeah, who doesn't want that car?
Sign me up.
I'll take 2.
So you make it crystal clear on both ends, and guess what, people? Your prospects are here. They really want to be here. Sometimes this is fuzzy. They're not sure what they want. You can help them be clear on what they want. And your program, your solution is the bridge they walk over to get there. 1, 2, 3. It's that easy.
Mhm.
Simple, I should say, because it's a simple formula. Sometimes you have to struggle a bit to really define those. All right, Jen, what do you think?
Here's what I've got. So yes to all of it. And so here's how you'll know if you don't have this dialed in.
Do you think it's ready?
I don't know.
Similar to the chiropractic example that I gave, if you're at a networking meeting or someone asks, what do you do? How you will know if your answer could be better, and you might want to listen to Deb's formula that she's sharing with you, is you will find yourself, if you're live, you'll be talking and waiting and sharing more, waiting for that moment when the person across from you goes like, oh, I get it. Like, because they're trying to decipher. And if it's something like whatever you do, if it's something that can help them with the problem they have. So if you're noticing the person across from you kind of like listening and they're trying to figure out or hear words that help them to identify if what you do might be a fit for a problem that they have. Now, if you don't ever get there and they just say something like, oh, that was really nice to meet you, or wow, that sounds interesting. They do what I call the head fake, where they're like, oh, yeah, but they're really like, no. That's how you're going to know if you could work on the system. So those are some of the symptoms. That same experience can happen in your marketing. So even if you're not live face-to-face with someone, if you write marketing and maybe you get a little thumbs up in your social media here and there, or you hear crickets, like nothing happens with your marketing, it's because your marketing hasn't clearly articulated the problem, the solution, and what's in it for them when they give you their time, their attention, and their money to work with you. So those are the symptoms. So you'll know, you're like, oh, okay, wait, I'm not getting the leads I want, or I'm spending money on ads, but I'm not really converting. The chances are like, well, let me back up. What most people do when, say, their ads aren't working, their social media isn't working, they look right to their price. It's such a common place to look. Like, oh, well, maybe it's too expensive, or maybe if I discount it, right? If you've got holiday seasons, Black Friday, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, you name it, people will discount their price. I don't care how cheap your program or your product or your service is.
But it's so cheap.
If your messaging is off, if it's not good, if it's not solid and clear, there is no amount of discount that is going to get a confused person.
People still don't know what you do.
To still say, you know what, here's my MasterCard. You should just have it. Take my Amex. You should just have it. So those are some of
Whatever it is, sign me up. Yeah.
What's that? Yeah, exactly. Or just take
Whatever it is, sign me up.
$5.
Yeah.
Right. Like, hey, I'll sell you something. Here's my message. I'll sell you something, Coach Deb. Give me $5.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what I'm buying. So you might not even give me $5. Anyway.
Well, you know what that's like? That's like going to the store when they're trying to get rid of excess and they call it the $5 mystery bag.
It's gonna be a surprise.
You don't know what's in it, but you're going to pay $5 for it. I want to make a comment on something you said, which is if someone says that's interesting, that is a now.
Yeah, well, that's interesting.
It's so bad.
People use the word that's interesting when they don't know what else to say. Wow, that's really interesting.
Oh, look at the time.
My husband actually joke about this of other ways to acknowledge someone without buying in, like, wow, I've never heard that before. Or well, that's so interesting. That's a novel way to look at it. Or we make a game out of how to respond without buying in.
Bless your heart.
Gave me a lot to think about.
I thought that your answer, one of your answers actually was just now when you went, I thought that was one of your answers.
Yeah. Holy cow, that's amazing. What the hell did she just say? Yeah, no.
Yeah. And it would be interesting. It would be, I've tried a couple of things, but we can banter back and forth on these. What would be interesting is if you could imagine that person leaves your little circle at a chamber meeting or something, right? You got your hors d'oeuvres on a tiny plastic plate or a napkin. You're trying to balance your drink and hand out a business card. And the person leaves that conversation with you. What I think would be interesting is if you had a little microphone and you could hear what they say to the next person, like, oh, you just met with, so-and-so, like Sarah or Dave. What do they do?
I haven't the faintest idea.
It's like, I think there might be in healthcare like that. It might be like, that might be the end of what they say, and vice versa. Like when you go to the next conversation, how clearly could you articulate to someone else, like, oh my gosh, they have this cutting edge technology that gets rid of migraine headaches forever in like 3 months. If you could say that, they've done a good job with their messaging. And that's what we want for you.
Yeah. And you're bringing up such good points, because once you get this formula down, it's not just your elevator speech, you mix it up. Like if you're in a circle at a networking event and people want to know what you do, like, have you ever been to this is how I start sometimes. Have you ever been to a networking event? You have to introduce yourself and you feel tongue tied. The words just fall out, but they don't really make sense. And afterwards, like, that really messed that up. And every time you go, it comes out, you think of something new and it comes out differently, but no one ever asks for your card. I may start with the problem, like, as a question. Okay. So I help you come up with, or I educate you on how to create such a captivating message when you first meet people, that if they're your ideal client, they absolutely lean in and go, I need your card. Let's talk. Okay. That's my solution. Right. What's the outcome of that? Well, you could say people signing up and wanting to talk to you is an outcome. It is, but further, so that this becomes automatic for you, and that gradually, sometimes even in big leaps, you're growing your business by people who are excited to work with you. That's how you monetize your message. Okay. So I would say that's the outcome. Okay. So you see how I use that now. Let's say, like Jen said, you're on social media. You're going to post an ad or even an infographic on your social media page, or you're going to go live. You take the same formula and you can switch it up. Who here has been waiting far too long for Mr. Right? That's an outcome, right? That's the future. Who here thinks all the good guys are taken, or you've just been waiting forever for Mr. Right to show up? Okay. You could also say it's a problem. Or who here wants to go on the most amazing vacation possible: white sandy beaches with turquoise waters, having someone bring you an umbrella drink at regular intervals, dipping in for a refresh. Like you create the vision for what they want. It's like, yeah, I want that.
I can see it now.
Okay. Well, most people I talk to say they want that, but they don't know how to finance a trip like that. I'm an expert at helping you finance luxury travel so that you can have the experiences of a lifetime. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. You see how you can mix things around once you've defined the problem, the solution, and the outcome. Mix it up. It's useful in your ads. It's useful in your lives if you're doing lives. But above and beyond, above all, I guess I should say, it's most useful when you're first meeting people. It's called an elevator speech because people get stuck in elevators and often they stare awkwardly at each other and go, yeah, hi, you're here for the convention? Yeah, me too.
Sure is sunny outside today. Wow, it's good weather. One of my favorites.
Small talk, small talk, small talk.
Right. So
I
I want
to on the plane. Let's say you're on the plane on the way to the convention.
to
Says, what do you do? Here's my card. No, be personable. Have this be able to flow off your tongue with very little effort. Like you've got this thing down.
And notice the first one I'm going to highlight for anyone listening. What Coach Deb just shared is there's a question. You ask a question initially. So if you haven't figured it out, just to get you on the right track as you're mapping out your 3-part response, the first one, starting with the problem, it's great to ask a question, to pose a question. When someone says, what do you do? And you start with something like, well, you know how, or you know when, you know how. A lot of people, like there are people who have migraine headaches that stop them from golfing or stop them from playing with their grandkids. You know how a lot of people suffer from random migraine headaches that literally shut down their life? Well, so it opens that door and it makes it easy for your ideal client to say, oh, wait a minute, I have that, or my spouse has that. Automatically, their brain starts filtering for themselves or someone else they know who may have migraine headaches that are. So now they're leaning in and they're curious about the next section of this messaging, which is going into the solution. Well, actually what I do is and then you say what your solution is. And then
I have a proprietary approach that is virtually guaranteed. In fact, I have a 98% success rate with curing recurring migraines so that here comes the outcome. If you have a problem figuring out the outcome, everyone start with so that you can enjoy a robust and fulfilling life, full out with all the activities that you enjoy, the relationships you want to nurture, and the life you want to create, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
There was a point I wanted to make though. The whole thing. Like if you're stuck in the elevator or at a networking event and the person you're talking to doesn't have the migraine headaches, but their niece does, you've made it very easy for them to refer you.
I'm going to call my grandma.
So clarifying your messaging also makes it easy for people to refer you. Okay.
Yeah, it's huge. And you can just stop talking at the end. Like if you want to say what your solution is and, so the people I work with never have migraines again, or they give me 4 weeks of their life and virtually 99% of my clients never have a migraine again. You can stop talking in that moment if you want, give them a chance to go, oh, well, how do you do that? Like I've got migraines. I'd love to connect. The chances are if you stop talking and allow them to lean in and process, and if they're an ideal client or they know someone, if you stop talking at the end of that, chances are that they will say, well, could I get your card? I have migraines and they just are ruining my life. Absolutely. I'm happy to share my information with you. The other option is, depending on the scenario, you could say, heads up, if you know anybody with migraines, I'd love to help them. Like you can lean in and ask for that as well, even on an elevator. So any other you would add, Coach Deb?
Yeah. I'd love to help them. You can even take that a little up level that a tad by saying it's my life's passion to help stop people from suffering from ongoing migraines. Okay. And that's actually a tiny bit more elevated than I'd love to help them, meaning I'd love to get your money. So people are funny that way. So it's my life's work to help people get out of pain and the recurring agony of migraines.
Absolutely.
So you can always say it's my life's passion, it's my life's work. Whatever you do, you don't have to be helping people with migraines. You could be helping people find the perfect home or get their financial house in order. It's my passion to help people understand the basics of finance so that they can go to bed at night knowing that their financial house is in order, sleep calmly and peacefully, and also that they have a plan for their children and for their retirement. What could be nicer?
I think we're gonna start a game called Sales Improv. I'm making that up right now.
That's our game. That's our game.
Where I think we should start this game where someone gives us a topic and we just go boop 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 and like plug it in, because everything, not everything, but most of the things we're sharing with you, there is a structure, there's a formula, it's learnable. You can use it in your business, in your speaking, in your marketing.
Yep.
And when you apply the structure, whether that's copywriting or how you're going to present yourself and present your information, you could give us a topic and we could plug it into the marketing structure, whether it's a realtor, whether you're a doctor, whether you're an insurance agent, whether you're a coach, whether you do life purpose type, self-development, wherever you're at, from as linear as I'm a Wall Street banker to I am someone who helps people find their life purpose and live a happy life. We can plug it into the system, which I think improv could be a fun game.
Yeah, sure could. We'll have to put our heads together on that one.
Yeah.
So Jen, here's another application. And this is why this is almost like so critical. It's foundational, critical, the messaging that you want to be a speaker. Well, what are you going to talk about? How about you talk about the problems that you solve?
Oh my goodness.
How about you walk out on stage and go, how many of you here have been struggling to find your perfect life partner? Because maybe you're not really clear about what you want.
I know what I want.
But you feel like all the good people are taken. Okay. You could walk out and say, let's say you're at a realtors conference. How many of you here feel like it's a crowded marketplace? There's too many realtors out there and you don't know how to stand out.
Raise your hand.
Oh my goodness. Don't even get me started is what I want to say on this. This is like,
but my point is what you determine as your problems that you solve and the solutions that you bring and the outcomes that you create can be the backbone of a presentation.
100%.
10-minute presentation, a 2-hour workshop.
A week?
Oh, is that too long?
And you just, build things out through stories and case studies, statistics, whatever, but it also works for your presentations. I think that's what we're saying here. So it's versatile.
Put on a show.
It has so many applications.
Yeah. I mean, you can change your life, and you may tweak it a little bit for the situation you're in, depending on who you're speaking to. That's normal. But the opposite, and what most people do, whether they're at a networking event or they're speaking live from a stage or live virtually, is they will go to the features. They will go on and on and on about what they do and why it's amazing.
Snake oil.
But they never establish the problem. And it prevents your audience from self-identifying or self-selecting themselves in as a potential client. So I often describe it as it's like telling a teenager what to do. If you can get their buy-in, you've got a chance to influence their behavior. But if you just walk up and you're like, yeah, this is going to be great. You need to clean your room and mow the lawn today.
No, there's no way I'm doing that.
Good luck on that. So when you begin to talk about why it matters, like, hey, guess what? We're having a party for your friends this afternoon. Let's get the place looking good. Now you've got buy-in.
Party?
So focusing on the problem. I mean, when I said don't get me started, it's because I see so many speakers and so many business owners and marketers not leading with the problem. The problem has not been established. So the solution doesn't matter. It falls on deaf ears.
It's not correlated to anything.
I don't know what it's for.
Yeah. It's not the solution isn't correlated to anything. So, and we're going to have to wrap up, unfortunately, but let's go back to what we said before, and along the lines of people self-identifying. Sometimes people they're not really clear how the problem is affecting them. And so they resign themselves to the way life is. Oh, aches and pains are just a part of the aging process. I just have to learn to live with it.
I just don't care anymore.
So they don't even realize they can't really define the problem for themselves or pretend it doesn't exist. They've pushed it down underneath the surface. They look for distracting activities.
He eats a lot of ravioli.
To take their attention off of it. So part of our role is to remind them and also restore hope. That not only is a solution possible, but the outcome, the dream that maybe you gave up on can be refreshed, can be revitalized, and you truly can have that outcome that perhaps you've given up hope on. That's part of our job. That's part of what we're doing. So let's recap and then we'll sign off for today.
Okay.
Number one,
Number one, problem. Talk about the problem.
issues, fears, it all goes in the category.
Yeah.
Number two,
Number two, talk about your solution. Use adjectives. Describe it. Don't just say, well, I'm a chiropractor. We do adjustments. You have to describe your solution.
and how you're different, how you're unique, how you stand apart from everyone else who's doing something similar. Okay, number three.
Number three is outcome. I wrote down what's in it for me, which is what's in it for them. What's the outcome? Paint that beautiful future.
Shangri-La.
Once they've got their problem solved by your amazing solution, paint that future.
And make it visceral.
I can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Not
visceral.
nicety, not like, oh, and then your life's going to be amazing and you're going to be happy and
Yeah,
find the
forget that.
life.
Oh God, we could do a whole show on that, please.
This will change your life.
Please don't use these
Don't do it.
abstract words that everyone else is using.
Mhm.
You know, be clear. Clear is better than creative, always. Or actually, the real phrase is clear is better than clever. Always be clear.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. Love that.
So, all right, that's awesome. That's it for today. Thanks for joining us, everyone. You're welcome to join in next time. I'm sure we'll be talking about this one on an ongoing basis as to how it applies, how it has so many applications. But feel free to send us your questions at questions@debandjenshow.com. So we'll sign up for now. See ya.
Awesome. See ya.